Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Talk the Ting. Tonight, your boy is solo. First time running the show solo, but circumstances, and we're still gonna keep pushing. We're still gonna bring you good content. And tonight we have on a very special guest. This is a personal episode for me. It's a conversation that me and some of my co-hosts have had offline. And we're gonna dive a little bit into promotion of shows and hosting events. And we're gonna have Polo with us tonight. We'll give him a chance to introduce himself. But before we dive into that, we want to ask everybody to share the live, tune in, give us a thumbs up if possible on YouTube, Facebook, and also subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, and also on YouTube as well. With that said, with no further ado, let me introduce the guest with us tonight. And Mr. Polo, what's going on?
What's up, man? Good night. Good night. And good night to the viewers and listeners of Talk the Ting. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Welcome, man. Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you joining us.
Thanks.
For sure. So, give us a little bit of a background of yourself. What where you from? For those who are not from Dominica, but where you from? Where you grew up? What? Let's give us a little background.
Well, I was born and raised in Dalis. For those of you who do not know Dominica too well, or for those of you that's from Dominica and have not been on that side of the island, it's on the east side, southeastern side of the island. It's right after La Plaine, and basically between La Plaine and Petit Savon. Petit Savon, which is extremely south, and we're on the southeast. But we have our back road that normally takes us to Petit Savon. So we are situated right between the villages of Botica, Petit Savon, but in the constituency of La Plaine. Born and raised there. Went to school in Tong. Stayed in Tong for a little while. Pottersville for quite a few years, and went back to the east side. I worked the Wasco for a little while, then came back in Tong, worked in Tong for a little while, and then I migrated. So yeah, but born and raised in Dominica.
Born and raised. So I want to ask you the question: where you get the nickname Polo from?
Boy, that's many nicknames, but at least one finally stuck. The name came about because of Ralph Lauren and so we start weighing a lot of that. Then people always say, "Oh, you always have Polo, dear boy." So that's how it came about. Yeah.
That's how it stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the conversation we want to have tonight is centered around your involvement as a event promoter, right? And you host a very successful event in New York. For those who don't know, that is the event Shades. Mr. Polo is one of the organizers behind that event, which is it's an event that I myself have patronized, and it's a very, very well put together event. We'll get into that a little bit later, but just how did you get started in event promotion, and let's give us a little background there. How did you get started, and when did you realize it was something that you wanted to take a little seriously?
Well, music have always been my thing. I mean, I am one of the biggest supporters of anything that take place in New York or the neighboring boroughs or anywhere else, right? Um, I always go out to support Dominicans. I have a passion for that. But before into the promotion thing, I was always playing my music, doing my little DJing thing, and so on and so on and so on. So that led me to actually starting something. I thought of something on my, I say, I tired be out there supporting people and doing stuff. I mean, it's time for us to do something. So here it is. This, I think it was same Memorial Day. In my backyard, I always have barbecue, inviting people over, always.
Mm.
And there were this group of people there. They're like, every time you're having something there where we come in, we eating, we drinking, why don't you do a party where we could come pay, or people can come pay and you make some money instead of you spending money. So I said that's a good idea because my backyard is pretty much big. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
And right away started brainstorming that, myself and Johnny and then my wife and then Nasha, Nashi, and my wife actually gave it the name Shades.
Mm.
So and that's where it didn't take time to hit the ground because it was the COVID was just dying down then. And I figured 4th of July coming up, and 4th of July actually fell on a Monday. So I said, but the Sunday would be a perfect time to get that done. And so done. Less than a month, that's how the first one started in my backyard. And I capped it at 100. I said, not want too many people there because of COVID.
Right.
And man, people were blowing up my phone. People were showing up. Be like, and then when we decided the first one is gonna be a hit, so we could at least draw the others that get to see it and that did not make it. And so said so done. Man, by the second year, that was it. That was
so you're
it.
telling me that Shades was the first event that you decided to put. Wow. That's impressive. Because like I said, as somebody who has gone to a couple of the events, a couple of times you've had Shades. It's a very, very well put together event. So before we even go any further, I think this is the show where we give people the most flowers. We want to give you your flowers before we go any further because
and I'm gonna tell you, it's not a one man effort. In events like that can never be one man. You understand?
Yeah.
It's there are quite a few people who made this event successful. Triple Star Songs, Borrow to Borrow, the ladies who doing all the cooking and whatnot, the Nothing Fancy crew, my wife and the decor and all this other stuff. All these people played a meaningful role in that, and they still do, right? And
Nice.
that's the reason why the event is successful today. It's not a one-man thing because an event of that magnitude cannot be one person behind that. You understand?
Yep.
Yeah. And believe it or not, the after we birth Shades, that's when the whole thing came together where you had the Bullfoot and the Rums and the other events during the Labor Day weekend. All that stem out because the people got the patrons got so satisfied and they were so comfortable with the quality that they were getting at Shades.
Yes.
They were asking for something else during the Labor Day weekend because I think they were getting fed up of some of the same events around the same time. And
yes.
So that really pushed us into doing that Labor Day event, the parties on Labor Day weekend. So.
Yep. Okay. So for the event, right? I know we're talking a little bit about Shades, but I want to kind of generalize it a little bit in terms of because you mentioned a couple other events that you guys have put on, and not just Shades, right? So what is your target market? I guess when you're putting these events together, I know you're from Dominica and you have connects and everything in Dominica, but is that really your target market, Dominicans, or are you targeting the Caribbean people as on a wider scale?
So here's a good thing. Here's a good thing about it now, right? The way the Bouillon is going right now, it made it easier for us.
Easier. Mm-hmm.
right? Because if had we done these events of about a few years back, and we decided, oh, we were just gonna target Dominicans, believe it or not, right? I live in New York City. The group of Dominicans that live in New York City, trust me, it's one set pool in there, a set pool in there. You very rare you will find all of them together in one setting. Right? So you can't go targeting Dominicans when you're doing any event here. You have to do your event in a way where you can pull all other nationalities. All right.
Yes.
You mixing your artists, you mixing your DJs, so if you notice, and I'll use Shades as an example every time. If you notice, every lineup we put for Shades, we either have a DJ from Antigua, we have somebody from St. Kitts,
Yeah.
we have an American DJ. There's
Right.
always someone in their mix to try to bring the other nationalities in. As I said, the bouillon right now made it easy for us. Everybody's into the bouillon. So the bouillon a whole just pulling everybody right now. Whether you're
Right.
from Mars, right?
Yeah. We're the hot thing right now.
It's a bit easy now, but you can't target one market. You have to you in order for these events to grow. Because if you look at the soccer events, they are not just targeted by the for Trinidad. They are not just at events for Trinidadians.
Right.
You find more Dominicans going to soccer events than Trinis themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep.
you doing events like that, you have to target different markets. You have to target different islands, different nationalities. You can't just focus on Dominica. Because we're from Dominica, it's a
Yep.
Dominica event.
Yep.
You can't move that. You can't go and take out let people know that it's a Dominican event, but it's not
Right. Right.
just catering
Not
for
not catered
Dominicans.
only to Dominicans. Right. Right.
Exactly.
So with that said, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about something that I have argued with Mr. Hadley a lot about when we talk about the selection of DJs, artists, that type of stuff. And you as a promoter, and you and your team, what are the thought processes that goes into that, in terms of, like you said, you target maybe DJs from different areas or different countries. Obviously, they have their following, so they'll bring some people.
Yeah.
But then, I guess the one of the main questions I have is, to bring an artist from, let's say, the Caribbean to New York, right? Is that something that you guys have looked at? Do you guys target, maybe
Oh
when
yeah,
they're touring?
we brought artists out of the US to come up all the time. The last Shades, we brought Malcolm Vex from St. Thomas. We brought DJ Rio from Dominica last year. We had Big Ben coming from Canada. We have this year we have DJ Afi drop it coming from Dominica. So we actually pull DJs. No matter where they are,
Yeah.
we will get them. And the whole selection comes about you having to be going to events to see how these DJs perform when they go on set. It's not just because you're a DJ and you have a name, then we're just gonna pick a DJ. Nah. We go to events, we watch how the DJs move the crowd, we watch how the DJs control their set, we watch how the DJs do their thing, and we say, okay, oh boy, Mr. Bad. Yeah, if I Mr. Yeah, we can work with Mr. And then you go ahead and you target these DJs, And I can tell you, Afi, when we went down for Carnival, boy, he did an amazing job with Signal and them in the first thing they had
Roll call.
Roll call.
Yeah.
Right. And then he played. I think he played in no, it wasn't roll call. He played with the Go Puel in the Go Puel.
Oh, okay. The Carnival Go Puel. Yeah. Okay.
And let me tell you, he had this place. Oh boy. So I was like, something? That's one of the guys really do. Yeah. And then you have his mixes on YouTube. You listen to his mixes and all put together. And we decide, okay, yeah, we need this guy in New York. So that's how we go about doing it. You check?
Yeah. But what are some of the challenges though you guys have seen in terms of Because I guess from somebody who has not been, I mean, I worked in smaller events, not events at the size of Shids, obviously, but smaller barbecues and different things. What are some of the challenges you have found with bringing not just DJs but artists, especially coming from Dominica? And the reason I ask is because you said kind of like your research, right? You go to events, you follow them, you see how the following is like, you see how they run a set, but also a band, right? I mean, one of the challenges we have in Dominica, we had Signal on a couple of weeks ago,
So
and
so
we talk
so
we
so
talk a lot.
so, so here's a good thing.
Mm,
We have never had to apply for a visa or anything of
hmm.
that sort for any of the guys we brought here.
Okay.
They already have their visa,
Hmm.
right? So it's always it's a piece of cake with a walk in the park for us.
Right, right.
We get the tickets, you give them the dates, we get their tickets and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, if they do not have a visa, then that's something else. That's a whole lot of different conversation. That's a thing you're gonna have to, and it's not just a 1 month thing, or you or have a gig there and you don't have a visa. I can just send you Barbados. That's not how it works. It's a
Right,
whole
right,
long
right,
process in order to get this visa thing done.
right.
And that's why everybody keep always saying, "Oh, signal, signal, signal." Oh, yes, well, yes, we want to bring up signal, of course, but there are other stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're working on and they're dealing with, in the meantime. But we'll be more than happy to when they get that rectified. But but for now, we actually just targeting the guys. We don't have to go through the whole paperwork process to try to get them there. Yeah,
Yep, yep,
um
yep,
and with that you don't have that much hurdles when you have a visa. You can travel to the US. We buy
yep,
your ticket. You get there. You pick you up. You get accommodation. You give your per
yep,
diems and
yep.
and whatnot and.
All right, all right. So before we go any further, we have another host joining us there. Them fellas see the conversation going good, so right now they want to jump on.
Good
Them
night,
fellas
good night, good night.
Hey, Mr. Wallace, what's up?
Excuse my idea. Excuse my
Your
tardiness. Welcome
tardiness.
to Talk the Thing.
Yeah, man. So I mean, Rajiv just jump on, but Rajiv, we were just kind of talking a little bit about how does Polo and his team strategically select the DJs, the artists, the people that they want to perform, and it sounds like they have a strategy to kind of target people who already, I don't want to say ready made, but they're good to go. They have everything lined up, and you just do what you have to do. Um, so you said you mentioned earlier something about when you did the first shades. You
Yeah,
said you wanted 100 people there,
yeah.
and you said you don't want anything more than that. You want to just keep it at 100. And I see somebody. I think somebody had going into the question that I about to ask. Right? How do you go into how do you what is it, the thought process in terms of making an event either all inclusive, setting it to let's say a cap and say, you know what, like you said, I don't want nothing more than 250 people there, maintaining the integrity of that event, right? What is the thought process behind that?
So that's a good point. That's a good question. So going back to the first one, I mean, because of COVID,
Right,
and
right.
then here's another thing you have to take into consideration. New York, you don't have that much real estate in terms of venue locations that outside venue locations
Mm-hmm,
that are
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
perfect for events, daytime events.
mm-hmm.
If you get a spot, it might be a hall, and you don't want to have shades in places like that, right?
Right.
So one thing I've noticed in going to parties all about whenever the cops pass and they see cash exchange and all these things and this kind of transaction kind of thing going on, it becomes a problem.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
All right. So the all-inclusive thing, that was one of the things to eliminate that.
Right.
I mean, you're still gonna find somebody. It will always have someone that will not buy their ticket online and will always want to come and pay at the door. Always. All right, but that's just 1 out of 100, right?
Right.
So if
or the people that will wait last minute for the ticket.
exactly, and so that was one of the ideas to avoid having to be exchanging cash in a bar at the door, because then when
Right.
you have cash all over the place, you're gonna have to have extra staff doing this, you're gonna have to have this, you're gonna have to have that. You pay your money. You just if you drive in, all you need is your key and an ID in your wallet. You don't have to worry about going to the ATM. You don't have to worry about any of
Yep.
that. You come,
Yep. Yep.
you walk in, you get searched, you get your cup, you get all of the stuff we have for you. You come in and you drink and you eat. Right?
Mhm.
Another thing we take into consideration a lot. You can't cook all night for everybody. You can't. Right? So that's where the whole idea of having a cap, it's because if you say you're catering for 700, that's gonna be 700. We catering for 700 people, right? If there's always those that gonna come 30 minutes before the jam done, and it's always those that come 30 minutes before the jam done. It's
That
always
the
those
one
that always make noise about
they want the
failing
most,
guests,
yes.
failing.
Yeah.
That's always the case. Are we gonna have someone there preparing food for people up until the jam done? No, that's not gonna
No.
happen. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, come on, you know. So
Yeah.
if we have a target in mind, we hit for a target. We prepare 700 meals. Well, say 800, extra 100 for people,
Right.
staff, what don't we? And that's it. So every time and we notice the trend there at every stage, every shade, how the crowd grows, right? We have a
Mhm.
trend of, so we know exactly what target to go, how much to go every year on top, versus the last year. So yeah.
All you have a reputation to maintain there, my brother, because
Yeah, oh yeah, oh
you
yeah,
know
oh yeah. That's something you should to fit to. And you know what? We s- and a lot of people came to me, and not just me. I think they shared the same sentiments with you, some of the other guys. You see what you guys started there. I
yep.
hope you guys can maintain it, because we didn't start like that. We started at at a peak,
Yeah.
right? So like you go to events, and you go to certain events. You get you come in, you get a little cup, a little plastic cup, and da, 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 da. We went at Shades, and guess what we start doing? We start giving tumblers and all this thing there. Can we go less than that now? We can't. We have to either stick to that or go for something
Or
better.
go more. Yep. 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 Because
Right? Because
the
we
word
we
getting out
start,
there. Yep.
yeah, we set the
Consi-
peak so high. We set the peak so high when we started it. We can't drop our standards right now. We have to maintain it and do better. And we are always open and welcome all critics. We take it with no problem. It can only make us get better.
Big bit. Yeah. Correct.
All right.
Yep.
And I always encourage people, if you see something we do and we messed up, or it's something you don't like, let us know. We'll fix it for next year. I mean, no party, no event, it's not gonna be perfect. There's always gonna be a few stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the things we can fix, we want to fix it before the next event or at the next. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I know Rajiv want to ask a question there, but since Polo say that if whatever event issues all you have with shades, put it in the comments. We'll pass the message.
Yeah.
We'll pass the message. Rajiv, go ahead.
No, I was saying, considering you were saying that there's a limitation in terms of real estate and how much space you can actually get, and the size of the show right now. At some point, I guess you're gonna have to have
Oh
a
yes.
max capacity. Is that
Oh
are
yes.
you
Oh
at
yes.
that
Oh yes.
point yet now where it's
I can tell you. After this year, I don't think next that venue will be the venue for next year. I doubt it.
Mm.
So as soon as this shit is done, all foot on the ground, homework again. Another, we have to look for something bigger than that. This one works. This one came in handy. It has an indoor and outdoor, so it's
Right.
perfect.
Right. Very
You
very
know.
nice place. Yep.
okay?
Yep.
But after this year, I doubt that venue might be able to accommodate people for next year. So there might be
But
something
you
we
think
have
at
to look
some
into.
points, it would just be like 500 people. That's it. You miss it till next
Well,
year for you.
no. You see, like how the no, we're not capping. You know, we're not gonna have an event, and capping. No, my brother. You see, like how you have Viva Miami and all these Vivas and all these things.
Right.
That's the level. That's the level we're pushing to get.
Right, right.
You understand? And you can't make money if you don't spend money. I mean, the venues are kind of costly, you know. So that's why
Mm.
when the
That's a
sponsors
good motto to have.
when the sponsors see your caliber of events and what you're doing, then the sponsors come on board, and that's where sponsorship covers some of the stuff, you know.
Mm.
So that's why we have to push our events to be the best.
Mm.
So that will encourage people to sponsor, invest in us, you know, sponsor because people actually attending these events and having a good time, you know. So
Yeah, man. I mean, it's really, I mean, like you say, it's really interesting how an event can kind of start off, like you say, you guys start off at a level, you know what I'm saying? And it's really one of the things that, like me personally as a patron or somebody who goes to Dominican events, I complain about a lot, right?
yeah,
Because it seems like as if we want to make money, but we don't want to spend money, right? And we have no problem taking people money. Um, to be honest, I was gonna make some comments on here about some things that happened over the weekend, but I, I, I,
you leave that one on the forum.
I'll leave, yeah, I'll leave that for another forum. But I mean, to their credit, I saw some things where they're trying to, to make it up to the people who came, and you can respect that, right? Because again,
Yeah,
sometimes you have situations, but I think one of the things we have to always remember, like you say, we're not in Dominica, and we can't get away with everything in this place, so we have to
yeah.
be mindful of all these things, right? How do you build? How do you go ahead and build more anticipation for the events, though? I mean, have you seen it where the events kind of promoting itself, or is it are you seeing something
Oh
where you
yeah,
have to kind of invest in that?
oh yes. And I don't want to get too complacent. I don't want to be, um, Shades have been doing a very good job promoting itself for the last 3 years, 4 years.
Mhm.
Because I could tell you, every patron that was at Shades for the first year was at the second, and was at the third, and was at the fourth. And everyone that was at the second was at the third and at the fourth. And everyone that was at the third was at the fourth. So the same crowd repeats itself every time, plus the new people adding. So it actually thing itself. But we don't just sit there and say, okay, because we know we have a nice event, it's a nice, it's not fully established because 4 years, but we're doing a good job with the event. We don't just sit there and just decide, okay, we don't have to promote, we don't have to do this, we don't have to do that because the event is gonna sell itself. No. If you notice, I was on Facebook doing a little thing. I go feel like in a free ticket today. I go, I have a little trivia there. Do this, do that, do that. Think the anticipation. You never know. I might just have a surprise. We might just have another surprise act the day of, or closer to the time. I
Yeah,
might just say But
yeah.
we have to. That's what we do to build the momentum and to have people ready for the event. And it's always on a holiday weekend. So I
Yeah.
mean, the vibes is good. Looking forward to the vibes.
So before we go any further, just tell the people when it shades. When it shades this year.
So Shades this year is July 6th. It's Sunday, July 6th.
Okay,
It's
basically for July weekend.
yeah. July 4th is the Friday.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, July 4th is the
Just
Friday.
about a
Shades is
month to
the
go.
huh?
I say just about a month to go. It's on the doorstep
Yeah,
already.
just about a month to go. Just about a month to go. Things are in place, I can tell you.
Hmm.
Everything's set. Um I don't let the cat on the bag. We had something a nice big sponsor um came on board this week. So just working on some stuff, doing some stuff, putting some stuff together. And yeah, and we also will be doing at Shades. We're also gonna be doing World Queer Music Festival promotion at Shades as well. For
Okay.
those of you
But
wondering, we're gonna be doing.
all you in
You can get a
front.
chance to maybe get there. Huh?
All you in front.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We'll be promoting. The fest. We'll be promoting the festival during the Shades event. We have stuff of the festival committee there where you could actually maybe scan and get your tickets. You'll have flyers around. You'll have things going on. All this good stuff. Hey, it's our festival. It's so we
Yeah,
have
man.
to help promote it.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
agreed,
but
man.
we're ready. We are ready. We
So if
we are making sure we have everything in place because we do not want to disappoint anyone. So
you ever had a viral promo moment, like the most successful marketing campaign or promotion campaign that you can say yes?
well, haven't yet, but I'm looking forward to that. It come in, it come in, but I haven't. It come in, it come in, it come in. I saw someone ask a question there. You think of doing it outside of New York? I know that was
Yeah,
one of your questions to ask. You was gonna ask me.
yeah. What that was gonna be one of the questions we had. But you kind of alluded to that. You mentioned about Viva and how Viva has
Yeah,
grown,
yeah, yeah.
right? And so
So that's the so that, you notice we are Shades New York. Then we gonna have we will have we move it to either Shades Dominica, Shades Atlanta, Shades Miami.
yeah.
That's the plan. But we want to make sure the home is secure first. Where it started, we have to make sure
Mhm.
everything is in place. And then we could start branching out. Because when you start branching out and your stuff is not established yet, you lose focus along the way, and then the pitch where you actually started, you start dropping the ball, and then people are starting to get disappointed and whatnot, and whatnot. So you want to make sure your stuff is well established and everything is in place, and then you could start thinking of doing it outside.
That's fair enough. I mean, before we go any further, I did, as you mentioned the comments, I did want to highlight a couple of the comments. Um, I see Rashida says that capping it will add to its exclusivity. When we think of events like Soccer Brainwash, it's snooze, you lose if you don't get a ticket.
Yeah.
That's one thing, right? I don't think these guys really what do you call it? Increase the amount of tickets they sell. They sell a certain amount of tickets, and that's it. If you don't get one, you don't get one. Um, let me see.
But we trying to get a lot of Dominicans into the habit of getting your tickets online.
Oh, to that,
You know,
to
uh,
that, to that
No,
comment
we
there.
just
We
go
have
through the
more comments
comments there.
oh my God,
that shit was ATL with this weekend. I
Rashida,
don't know money would have been
Rashida, behave
safer.
yourself. So
Oh man.
yeah, so we trying to get a lot because when you're so bent on having a habit, it had to break sometimes.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be honest, if you a lot after when we started this event, a lot of Dominicans that live in New York City said they had stopped go to parties, they had
Yep.
stopped go out because it was always the same thing, and the parties were not improving. So they actually stopped. I can tell you a lot of the patrons we have at Shades are people who go to no other party but Shades for the year, and that's it.
Yep.
And that says a lot. Yeah, that says a lot. That means they're satisfied with what they get. That means we are doing pretty much of a good job. And our whole aim is to keep it like that, right? Keep it like that. Come out, hot sun, clean fun, enjoy yourself. Come get, this nice music, nice vibes. Just, socialize. You're gonna see a lot of people you don't know, people you haven't seen in how many years. Because people do fly in from all over to come up for Shades, believe it or not. You have people flying from all over to come up for Shades. So that gives them a sense of hope when we started this event. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
You made an interesting point about people buying tickets online, because usually I would think it's the promoters that are reluctant to put the tickets online, for some cost saving or whatnot.
No, not
Not
really. But
really.
here's the thing. If you decide you're gonna have an event and you have physical ticket selling, right? They're gonna start calling and say, hey, can you leave me two tickets, 3 tickets, 4 tickets, right?
Right.
I deprive somebody else of 4 tickets because you call me and tell me you need 4 tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the day of you didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 4 tickets I could have sold, but I held it for you because you were my friend or I know you what not. And guess what? When you go online, you buy your ticket. You don't show up. That is your fault if you don't show up. But at least you buy your ticket. You understand what I'm saying?
And you can always sell it if you don't go.
Exactly.
But at least that'll be on you. Yep.
Somebody want a ticket in the Bronx, you have to burn your gas, cross the bridge, go in the Bronx to sell it. So, I mean, somebody thinks that's really not,
It sound like what you're saying is that the juice not worth the squeeze when it comes to the physical.
No, the best way to go, and we have a very we have my Fed tickets. That's Dominican guy based in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And this site is very reliable, very good site. It's way better than the Eventbrite. Right? Way better than the Eventbrite. And we have not had an issue with it. We have not had an issue with him. And I think that's the way we going forward. And I mean, it's an easy way to just jump on there and get your ticket. Yep. So for those of you on the live that haven't gotten your ticket yet, you could jump on my Fed tickets and get your ticket. Right?
Yeah, man. July 6th for Shades. It looked like we have a question from somebody that we want to bring in there. Why do you guys feel it was important to invest in a sound system? I mean, we all know that for an event, that's a very, very important part of it.
Well, listen, that's true. But sound system, that's another headache again you're gonna have. But you understand? It's true to always good to have your own thing.
Yeah.
You understand? But based on how your event growing, the bigger your event gonna get is the bigger sound system you're gonna get.
Sound system you need,
to increase. You understand what I'm saying? So it's better to get somebody for a nice sound system, pay somebody for the sound system and use sound system. I mean, if it's something you have to invest in, some stuff you have to invest in, right? Like tables and all this extra stuff. You can't continue renting cocktail tables every event. You start buying your own tables,
right?
And some of the other stuff, because as the event grows, the bigger it gets in to rent them, it's gonna cost some more. And because you're gonna need additional tables, so it's best to start buying your stuff, buying what you can. But things like sound system, I think these are things to rent. They like the venue. They like the venues.
Right. I have a question for you, Raj. Hold on. I have one question for you. One of the things that I personally have noticed is when you go to an event. So let's say your event goes from what time is Shades? What time does Shades run from?
So 2 to 9.
Okay. So the question I have is, you as the promoter, you say 2 to 9, and like you talk about food and who come late and all them thing there. One of the problems that we've constantly seen is that Dominicans are notorious for going to places late and then complain that the event was not as good as they thought, right? What is your thought as a promoter? If your event is from 2 to 9, are you thinking, I have an itinerary, I have a plan, I have a run of show, whatever you want to call it, and you run with that no matter if there's 3 people there or if there's 100 people there?
Regardless of who's there. So what I do is, so I'm always responsible for putting the whole schedule together. Which artists come first, second, third, fourth, whatever, who's going last, right? I always do that.
So before, but when all you hearing that day, if you have a problem with that, all you know who to go and make noise.
I feel I've been to enough parties to know who I should know can go where and when, where. I mean, we discuss it as a group after, but I just put it down together, and then if we have to shuffle a few, we shuffle a few after we talk to each other. When your time slot gets there, it doesn't matter who's there, your time. So here's what I do. So if I said the event starts at 2 o'clock, I always have a house DJ. There's a house DJ. There's always house DJs. Two of our main house DJs are Sniper and DJ Wiz. No matter what, you'll always see them on the flyer. These are our DJs. They will either start and close, right? So we always have the house DJ starting up the vibes. Just have while people come in, you know, while people come in, me playing music, have music going. Then I would have my first DJ to play like an hour after the time or hour and a half after the time. So let's say I say 2 o'clock it start, I'll put my first DJ about 3:30. And I'll build my schedule from there, go down. Right?
Right.
And normally we have an end time. When we have an end time, normally sometimes we still have a little time on the back end, but we don't put it like that. Just in case the party nice and we want to extend it, we just extend it. But the party is actually 2 to 9. You understand? So that's how I build my schedule. So no matter who's there, your time slot, because what happens if you keep pushing back based on people coming in, there are DJs that's not gonna play. And the DJs that actually playing good is gonna come there for 10 minutes.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you can't go and pay a DJ. For example, last year we had Rigo Suave last year. Just raining. He came, and as soon as he came, he was well happy. That's why he stayed. It was his time slot. That's why he came. He came play, regardless of people were dancing outside and whatnot. He came, he played. But you're not gonna pay a DJ that much money and allow him to come and play 10 minutes.
10 minutes, right?
If you're paying for a 90-minute slot, you're gonna get your 90-minute slot. Believe it or not. So whether there's 10 people in there, whether there's 100, or there's 1,000. All right. So yeah, we just have to learn as black people to go to places on time, show up to places on time.
So what about situations where you plan everything good on your end, but now cancellations, stuff like that, something caterer late, how you handle those kind of challenges?
Okay, so here's the good. That's why I told you. I'm perfect for that, because remember I'm a man of many hats, right? We have everything set up in a way in-house. Our food is our whole crew. We have our food crew in-house, right? We handle our drink stuff by ourselves. DJs, I don't have. Even if a DJ cancel on me, I won't have a problem with that, because I have a lot of DJs on the back. I always have a lot of DJs there. Always somebody can fill in, and that won't be too much of a problem, because if my time slot is 45 minutes and DJ cancel, all I have to do is just extend every DJ time to an additional 15 minutes or 20 minutes,
right,
to fill in the gap. You understand? But food wise, I'm not doing event and waiting for caterer to bring stuff. Hell no. We do it because remember you catering for hundreds of people,
Vertical integration, boy.
That's not a last minute thing, like it's just one tray of sandwich or a tray of boiled eggs or something. They cancel, you screwed. Hundreds of catering, you must know if something mess up because you have to start catering from early morning.
Right.
You understand? So if something go wrong, it have to go wrong from there. So normal, knock on wood, we have never had any challenges so far, and I pray to God that we will never encounter any of these challenges. So far, we have been blessed by God to have everything going perfect, and just wish it continues like that. And
So safe to say, you never had a flopped event.
No, no. The word flop, no flop, never.
Okay.
Flop. No, never flop. No. I can tell you this. I can say it proudly tonight. None of the events, Shades, Bullfoot, On the Rocks, none of these events have never been. The word flop is nothing. Don't even use that. Never.
Okay.
Never. Every one of these events have been successful so far. We have everyone. No one can walk on and say they didn't get paid. That. Every one of the events have been successful.
Well, So you talk a lot about shades, but I guess I want to ask you, even before you guys started shades, what was maybe an event you went to where you're like, if I ever kind of have my own event on them level there, that is an event like I would want to kind of have something similar to that. Is anything you can remember? Because you say you
Standard.
went standard. What set the standard for you in your mind?
Honestly, and it wasn't even in New York because I think it's an event I went to in Atlanta. I think it was one of the events I went to Atlanta around a carnival time.
It wasn't this weekend for
Um,
sure.
it wasn't this weekend, and it wasn't none of the parties this weekend. It wasn't Citrus. It was not because these are new parties. But it was. I think it was some other party similar to that style of parties, right? Where you walk in, you get in all your, the perks. You get in more perks in the parties down south than up north,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
And I always maintain if we're doing anything have to happen. So it have to be something like that, have to be something
Hmm.
like that. Even the private Ryan shows. I mean, it's always something going on whenever he have his shows, but I've never,
Right.
I don't go. But even these shows, they keep it at a standard where you always want to go, even before you put it out. Everybody looking forward to it, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So, so these are good events you have to emulate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of good events, and I think you guys have found a niche, right? Because Dominican
Yeah,
specifically, I know, was looking for something on those levels, right?
yeah.
With our music, because we go to the soca events, and especially now Bouillon is big. You hear Bouillon here and there, but you want to hear more of our music. So it's good for us to have our own event put together
And
by our own Dominican people.
And believe it, it have nice other nice Dominica events around. It have a lot of nice Dominica events around. A lot of nice Dominica events around. Some people may not feel comfortable going to them,
Mm,
but as I told you, I go to everything, right?
mhm.
Um, Even the all white, the Hawaiian all white party, that's a nice event,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That's a nice event. Um, my partner always go a jam in Brooklyn, always nice. A cooler fete. That's one of the nicest cooler fete I go to all the time. It's coming up on the
Hmm.
seventh of next month. And it's a
Okay.
very nice. It's a oh yes, nice to go, nice vibes. You go there, and here's what Dominicans take from that: when they see you out, they come out to support you. That's they have that
Mhm.
notion in their head. You understand?
Right,
Because
right,
they
right,
always
right,
think
right.
Yeah.
Mr. doesn't go to people think me as if I had to go in Mr. thing.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
Yeah.
You're
they
right.
famous for that.
Know your market.
You're right. You're
They
right.
fam- they fam- they famous for that. Oh, Mr. doesn't go nobody jam me. I had to go in Mr. thing,
Yep.
right? But nobody can say that because I always are wrong, and that's why I
Yeah.
make it a point of duty to always pass every time someone has something. I pass around. Even if it's a beer or two, I drink. I check my seal. I drink. I go. At least I go. I show my face. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Sure. Face. Right. Right. Right.
And yeah. So
So you have a particular artist on your wish list, and you say that I must book Mr.
oh,
one
yes,
day or her.
yeah, I tell you, we have targeted a few artists already. Out
Well,
of the artists that are not from Dominican,
give us one, give us two
we
on
have
the wish
targeted
list.
on the wish you mean to bring on a
Yeah, the
show.
wish list. Yeah, like the biggest,
Yeah,
the biggest artist you can think of, and you
a
say, well,
shades
I
on a
must
shades.
book.
You want that thing on a
Yeah,
shades?
on our shades.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Patrice,
Mm.
okay. And the
Patrice is
Dominicans
one
love
of
their
them.
Patrice, eh?
Yeah, definitely Patrice, and Patrice style is as kind of Patrice is definitely one of them, right? And most likely skinny Vanta, skinny fabulous.
Right. Okay.
Skinny Vanta came to mind because I spoke to him sometime last year about shades, and then the Grenada Carnival was taking place at the same time. And then
When you say skinny band, on my mind on Shadow Flow.
no, the one in Grenada, the Grenada artist.
Shadow
But
flow.
yes, so we have actually contact with some of these artists already, and I mean we're just waiting until the venue we get
Right.
the
Right.
venue
Right.
because you bring a Patrice there, you don't have to cater you don't have to worry about Dominicans no more. You don't, I mean
Exactly.
not saying like that. You don't have to cater,
Exactly.
you don't have to You don't have to say, well, you're in a place with just Dominicans that there. Everybody's
Right.
gonna follow.
Everybody will
She come
come.
with
Yep.
a crowd. You know,
Yep.
so that's why you have to be mindful when you bring an artist, your venue can actually accommodate the artist to bring. Yeah.
So that's been that. I'm laughing because that is one of the big arguments me and Adley have had, right? In terms of a promoter, the artists that they could bring. What is the reason for bringing these artists, right? And one of the things, like, you see a lot of the American artists being booked all over the place. And exactly what you said, right? These people can pull a crowd, right? When you put
Yeah,
that person name on your flyer,
the poor people.
it's almost like as if you don't even have to advertise the event anymore, right?
Exactly.
So just my perspective, and people can like it or not, but my perspective is that especially if some of our bands now, maybe a little bit different now since Bouyon kind of kick up in the last couple of years. But it's kind of difficult for you to spend the kind of money to bring a whole band up to America, and then not and just thinking, well, it's only Dominicans you're gonna get. Are you even gonna make the money back?
Back
Right?
the
You spending the
money.
money, yes, but are you even gonna make the money? So to me, from a promoter standpoint, it have to make sense. It have to make dollars and cents. You know what I'm saying?
You have to you have to honestly you have to look at all these options. You have to look at all these options. For example, okay, we're doing shades this year. We have Shelly,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
We have Afi. Well, most of the DJs that on there is, I mean, they versatile. They can play any style type of music. It doesn't necessarily
Hmm.
have to be boogie, or they can. And what I do now, a lot of times, what I do when I manage the stage, if I notice the DJ before you come and play bouillon, when you come on board, I tell you do not play bouillon,
Yep.
right?
Can't play the
I
same
tell
music.
you
Yep.
to move away from that genre completely. Do not play bouillon. Move away from that genre. Go play something else. Go. There's enough reggae, Spanish. I don't care what. Do not play bouillon, right? Because you have a whole artist coming and his bouillon is gonna sing, right?
Right.
And
Right.
you are the DJ before you come and play a whole heap of bouillon, right? You can get nice mellow old school bouillon. You can, if it's not that, you're gonna chip in there to, those
Yeah.
move away from the bouillon. Don't come and bring new school bouillon, because too much bouillon. I mean, you have different crowd there. You have to try to mix up the music, give a little feel of everything, because that's why you have the Antigua DJ. You come in, you just a
Right.
little
Right. Right.
of the Antigua. You understand?
Hmm.
And that's what it is. But you, as the stage manager, you are the person running the stage, have to be always on your P's and Q's to make sure that the DJs don't stick to one genre and have the people bored. Because as much as we Dominicans, too much of bouillon gonna go to our ears too. You know,
Yeah.
too much of the bouillon is gonna actually aggravate us. So that's why the whole diversity, and I say that DJ just play bouillon, play reggae. Stick
Yeah.
to reggae, play reggae, dancehall, Afrobeat, whatever. Go down that road. It leave the boy on me. So yeah. So that's
You
why
sound like
I really.
you sound like on the day of you're a busy guy. And
Oh, you doesn't.
understandably
You
so.
never. I mean,
I haven't
he
been.
never
I
there. He
haven't
never there.
been.
He never see.
So
I always up and
how
down.
you
I always
avoid
running up and
the
down the place.
burnouts? How you
Yeah,
stay
but
inspired? How you avoid the burnouts?
well, I always say I always tell myself I'll try to sleep the night before, but that doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. But by as again, I don't know. God give me the grace. I still have good life, good health. So I still have some some energy in me. So I just have me going. But after a while, the body's gonna give up. You check?
Right. Right.
But
Right. Right.
so that's why we try to share the load a lot. We have enough people in the group where you're gonna control this, you're gonna control this, you're gonna control this, you're gonna control this. So one person will have to be running up and down, doing all this stuff. You understand? So when
Mm.
the day off, you just know is that you focus on, is that you focus on. That person focus on that, and that person focus on that. And that's what we do. That's what we do. Make sure everybody hold their hand and they do their thing. So we won't get burnt out.
I see a couple comments there. Some Tara Richard say Polo has many hats. I don't know if
Yeah.
that is a play on words or
Oh, yeah, she right, because right now is the MC business now is that gigs, MC gigs I get in them season there. It's either MC wedding, MC this, MC. So that's why she that's why she said that. Plus, plus for those that don't know, I still run MO. I run MO for the whole US. I do all MO in the US. So
I
all
didn't
over
know
the
that.
place.
All right,
All
all right.
right.
Well, you
Yeah.
stay
So
you stay busy, boy.
I
What?
stay busy. I just came back from Florida. I just came back from Tampa doing a funeral this weekend.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
so what would be some of the advice you would give? I mean, based on your experience thus far, and somebody who may be looking to kick off, being an event promoter, especially for Caribbean type of music or Dominican music.
Invest in your event.
Mm.
Invest in your event.
Tokatan, sir?
Put money in your event because let me tell you, that actually pull people. That actually pull people. That draw attention. That
Mhm.
pull people. You imagine you walk in, and when you walk in, you just see all that nice decor and the whole place looking nice, and you just come to shit.
Yeah,
Boy, yes. Right? These are things that
yeah,
once you come back.
yeah.
Boy, you're gonna get this thing done if you don't invest. You have to spend money to make money.
Yep. Get
You
get
understand?
your permits, get your permits and stuff.
So,
Say
so
it louder
that
for those in the back.
so that is the whole thing. You want to invest in your event. You can
Yep.
don't go you don't go. Some people complain about things. If somebody complain about pay out today, tomorrow they complain about pay out, you still bring them pay out the next day, and they complain again. You bring them. Nah, move away from the pay out. Give them something different. Do you understand what I'm saying? Invest. If you just spend a little extra money to buy gel potion, do something. But you can't just take it for granted because that one person complain. Because one person complain can mess up everything. Because
Oh yes. Oh yes.
one person complaint can mess up everything. So that's all I have to say to them. Just invest because I tell you I go to every event and I see it. Right?
Yes.
Sometimes I don't say anything. Sometimes the promoter is my friend, I just tell them.
Mhm.
Right? But invest in the event. Right? Put money in the event.
What is
That's
one
all I
song that always hype up the party for you? Like a must play. Like once you hear that, we peak high.
well,
You have a
well, Pushy is
favorite?
my song. Pushy have to play. Pushy must play. Pushy must play. You see, Pushy, that is our song. That is our song.
Okay.
You understand? But let me tell you, anytime you see a nice groovy soca hitting, my brother, that is when you know the party. Trust me, if when a nice groovy soca hit and you start see people, the ladies and them start dancing, I think you know the party about to kick off.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which one of the groovy soakers, but when you see any one of them catch, that's it. And my boy Sniper have a way of bringing them groovies, them soakers themselves.
See on
Yeah.
your farm.
Well,
Yeah, man. I mean,
but
Polo, we've been going for about an hour now, and that's normally when we kind of wrap it up. But we're gonna give you an opportunity to, again, plus plug your event again coming up.
yeah, man.
And just tell everybody where they could find tickets, and give us a little bit of information about the event.
So, guys, the ticket is on the event is on July 6th. It's the same venue as last year. It's in Queens. It's they are it's the Ike's Grand Hall. It's on 18712 Linden Boulevard. Very easy to find. This year's lineup, we're gonna have Big Ben. We're gonna have DJ Sniper, DJ Wiz. We have Reckless from Antigua. We have DJ Affy Drop It, and we have the headliner, the lead singer of the Signal band, Shelly, the man Shelly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The event starts from 2, goes until 9. It's an all-inclusive event, as you guys know already. Tickets will be given for food, so we won't have people coming 3, 4, 5 times. Let me repeat that again. Everyone will get a ticket upon arrival at the gate with your cup and whatnot. So when it's time for food, you get your food using your ticket. So you won't have to eat 3, 4, 5 times and one person wouldn't get and another person wouldn't get. Let's keep that in mind.
Okay.
We also always an all-inclusive event. There are always patrons who want to have their private section. They want to buy a bottle. This is how that is. Can you imagine this? All-inclusive event where your drinks are included and you have people want to buy their bottles and sit down or stand up and drink. That service is available to you. We have VIP packages on MyFed Ticket. We'll have a VIP section, but it only be available for the people with the packages. All right, we have a nice little VIP section block up, but people with the packages will be available for them. All right, we'll have tables, we have hookahs, we have all the good stuff. All right, so July 6th, mark your calendar. If you get your ticket right now. It's on myfedticket.com. All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So you heard it all yourself. We want to thank you, man, for coming on with us. I think it was a very enlightening conversation. I think it's good to see you guys putting on a successful event that many people have been speaking very highly of. Like you said, word of mouth is, maybe what helped grow the event, and word of mouth can kill the event, right? So you have to always remember that you have to, keep maintain a standard, and people will support, right? People will spend their money, and I think as a promoter, I have to give you credit, you and your team credit for doing that, right? Taking I would say taking people money serious, because people work hard for their money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at least somebody feel like this.
Not getting that email.
I mean, listen. Sometimes you understand things happen, but at the same time, if these basic things are happening, it makes you wonder sometimes. What was the thought process going into the planning of these events, right? But anyway, that's a topic for another day. With that said, we want to thank you. We want to thank everybody who tuned in to us tonight. We're gonna be live next week again. Next month, we're going into a month of entrepreneurship where we're gonna be having different guests who are small business owners. The people who are brave enough to work for themselves, right? Which I'm not brave enough to do. So I'm looking forward to speaking to some of these people and seeing where they get that bravery from. So every week we'll have a new entrepreneur for the month of June. So whether you're looking to launch your own business or be like Polo and start your your promotion and do all those that kind of thing, you learn something. So tune in with us every Wednesday. Like we said, since we came back, we're pushing out the content, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Mark your calendars. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video, and also you could listen on Spotify while you drive into work and them kind of thing there. All right. You got something you wanted to say? Yeah.
Before I go, let me just big up the team one time, borrow to borrow.
Yeah, man.
Enough respect. Solid behind the scene.
Yeah, man. With that said, everybody, take care. Have a good night.
Good night.
Be safe.
Easy.
Yeah, man.